Hello everyone, welcome back. It's Buildin' Big with City Skylines, episode 65. I'm Enigmius, and there's a fire. But the fire department is on the scene, they're putting it out as we speak, doing the job we hired them to do. There they are. They're hiding behind other buildings. It's not going to be a very long episode today. There's a couple of tricks that I wanted to share with you guys that are related specifically to aligning large road-based assets so that things kind of come together and look nice and straight where you want them to look straight, and generally without the headache that comes from trying to do things by eye. These are a couple of tricks that I picked up on my own. Nobody talks about these, nobody documents these, they aren't available in any loading tips or anything like that. They're just kind of the thing you either pick up or guess on your own, or you don't. There are going to be some people you'll be like, dude, those aren't tricks, I've known that since I was a fetus. And some of you are going to be like, holy crap, I didn't know that, that's so helpful. So this video is for the people who are like, holy crap, I didn't know that, it's so helpful. And for those of you who are master city planners from the womb, I hope you enjoyed the fire, because that's all I have for you this episode. So I want to give you a couple examples of what I'm talking about things lining up nice and straight. I've got a couple of quarter circle assets. One is here, and the other one is rotated 90 degrees, and it's here. And they comprise a pretty large part of my city. That's a nice thing about these, is we can do kind of interesting designs with the roads and then duplicate them throughout the city so that the city comes together quickly with a little less finicky business trying to get the roads to line up and all that other stuff. But trying to get the assets to line up is not always as easy as we might like, and this is a great example. This is where the the quarter circle asset roads ended, and then we had this little corner here and we needed to connect it to the rest of our city, and you can see that the asset wasn't lined up with this intersection here. We ended up with an angle kind of coming off like this. It's a pretty small detail, but it's one of those things when you notice it, you're like, oh, I wish I had done it a little bit better. But the assets are too large to just keep bulldozing them and trying again. It gets very expensive, even if you bulldoze them right after you place them, and you lose 20% of what you spent to place them. It adds up. It's not something you want to be doing all the time. And even if you come down like this is how I test to see if my roads are straight, as I come down kind of right down to road level and see. We've got this road comes off straight till it reaches the intersection, and then this other quarter circle was just a little bit off. You can see it's just ever so slightly skewed off to the right. Again, trying to place them by eye, very, very tricky, and not necessarily the best way to do things, I have found. And then one more quick example. Nice straight asset, 90 degrees, and then to connect it to the next one, we get it going off just a little bit because we placed them, they were kind of slightly out of alignment. So there's a couple of things that we want to be able to do to make things easy on ourselves. A quick and easy way to help align one asset to the next so that things are nice and straight, and a nice, quick and easy way to align the assets themselves to specific angles so that everything comes together the way that we want them to. Now, we're going to do these actually sort of very close to one another, and we're going to use an example. We're going to extend our city out this way using two more quarter circles, so we'll have a half circle kind of like this coming up that way, and it'll be lined up with this road here so that everything is nice and pretty. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to come down here. First thing we want to do to help align everything is we're going to select a 6-lane two-way road with trees, because that's what this road is, with snapping on. And then we're going to extend it down, and we're going to make sure that it's nice and straight as far as the snapping will allow us to get it, which is pretty close. Now I have to do some tricky counting here for the tiles to find out how far apart we want the roads, because we're going to have another new asset that we're going to bring in to kind of bridge the gap between the quarter circles. So we've got like that, and 1, 2, 3, 4 for the tiles, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 for the asset, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 for the assets tiles, and then 2 for the road. It looks much bigger than you would ever possibly think it would need to be, but it'll hopefully make a little bit more sense when we plug in the new asset. So before we do that, however, we've placed the road is nice and straight, it lines up with the road we connected it to, everything is perfect. So now we want to grab the asset itself, which is this one, you can see it's quite large as the usual intersection assets go. And the easiest way to line them up is just kind of get it close. See how they snap together like that? I didn't really think about that because I was used to doing things like placing traffic circles and things like that, where you clear lots of space around them, you place them, and then you connect the roads after the fact. The idea of putting an asset right up next to a road and having it connect automatically kind of escaped me, and I never really thought of it as an option. So using roads like this to line things up is just so helpful. You might need a little bit of practice in terms of coming up with the right spacing between assets and things like that, but realistically speaking, once you get the hang of it, it's just so much easier. The other trick is, say we know if you want to rotate an asset, you hold down the right mouse button and you go like that, side to side, and it rotates, and the closer you get down to the ground, the more fine control you have over the actual specific rotation. But you can see now, you're kind of looking at that and you're thinking, is that 90 degrees? Like if I go to connect it to this guy, it's not going to snap for me. It's going to leave it at the angle that I selected before I started messing around with it. And what do? Well, if you just kind of right click and let go, it rotates in 45-degree increments, snap to the global grid, so that if this road is basically lined up with the rest of the world, you use the snapping to kind of set it up, then you can use this to straighten it out so that it's not that slight angle off, and then you connect it. Bob's your uncle. Now if we switch to a road that's not so obtrusive with the silhouette, we can come down here, the sun's coming, oh look, it's so pretty, it's so shining off the water. Come down here, it's all nice and straight, all the way down as far as the eye can see, because the eye won't let us see beyond that intersection up there where it goes off to the right. So it's all nice and pretty. Now, if we want an even better example of how precise this allows you to be with the snapping and whatnot, is we can go like this, and we want to go 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 2 for the road, and then we go asset, circle, spin it around using our right click trick, snap it into place. Now switch to a small road and come down here, and you can see the tiles. The tiles for this side and the tiles for this side, perfectly aligned, no gaps, no overlaps. It's just ideal. And then you can come down here, and for the sake of traffic flow, nice, clean, smooth connection. It looks good. It's not skewed. It's just gorgeous. Now, if I hadn't been actually kind of slowing the process down so I could explain things a little bit, we could have thrown this thing together in under a minute, this whole part here, and that's probably good for 20 to 30,000 people, depending on what we're zoning there and all that other stuff. So put together a big city pretty quick. That brings us to the new asset that I'm showing you guys today, and I wanted something that was quick and easy to fill in this sort of gap between the quarter circles, which I didn't have. The closest I had were these sort of 90-degree pieces with the curved profile in the middle, but they would only do good for one side. Or I would have to have these farther apart, which I didn't necessarily always want to do. There's a little bit of room for variety here, and I wanted to make sure I was taking advantage of it. So this is the asset. Sorry, I made it, and then I made some adjustments to it, and I saved it in a different name, and so it's got 2 copies, and I thought that I hadn't saved it. So this is the new asset, and I wasn't, someone's going to look at that and see something profane, and I wasn't intending to do that at all, but it is what it is. And it's intended to come down in here and kind of fill in that spot there, but I just wanted to show you, look at the profile and the curve. And if we kind of bring it in just like so, how closely it matches the road there. I was so happy with that. And it doesn't match the whole profile of the curve because those little arms at the end of the curve are actually straight coming off that intersection. You probably, what intersection, what arm, what the hell are you talking about? Don't worry, just look how it fits against the road. That's all you need to look at. But if we kind of back it out a little bit, we've left ourselves enough room so that we can kind of bring it in like this. And this is one we're going to do by eye because actually, you know what, we're not. Screw that. We're gonna kind of get an idea here of how far out we need to get the connection that we want. based on the alignment for the tiles, and then we're gonna follow our own advice. We're gonna go as close to the middle of this guy, which that wasn't close at all. We gotta go 2 blocks over. There we go, just like that. We're gonna pretend that that's gonna be the ideal distance, and then we're gonna grab it and we're gonna connect it. Actually, that's pretty damn good. Straight, uniform. There's some gaps in between, and I'm okay with that. We'll just grab a slightly smaller thing so that we can see with the tiles. Obviously, we've got some dead space in here and here, but realistically speaking, we managed to use up this space in here in a way that looks good. The traffic should flow fairly well because we've got the 6-lane 2-way this way, and we've got a couple of 4-lane 2-way extending off, but realistically speaking, I'm happy with that. So if you're interested in using this asset, particularly if you're using the other assets that I've been giving to you guys throughout this part of the series, it's going to be there. It'll be a link in the information box below the video. So that's us. The focus really has just been on learning how to align things properly so that things come together more uniformly. And now I've got, look at all the space that I have to zone to grow our city. If you have any comments, questions, whatever, leave them in the comment section below. If you want to be notified when I add the next video, subscribe to my channel or follow me on social media. Links for social media are also in the information box below the video. Thanks for watching and take care.